Tuna wageni watatu, Mheshimiwa Sebastian Kapufi mbunge, ambao ni wadau wa maendeleo kutoka Marekani. Wadau wa maendeleo kutoka Marekani, karibuni sana.
Container packed with supplies that need to make their way to families in Africa, like yesterday. You said this is a 53-foot trailer? This trailer is packed with medical supplies destined to the motherland. We need to help get these out of here. Are you tired of fighting with your wife or with your husband? Have you each retreated into your separate corners, not even trying to speak to each other anymore? Are your children witnessing a toxic marriage rather than a purposeful partnership? Hi, I am Shar, and I am an attorney mediator and experienced in helping families for the past 13 years navigate really challenging times. And I am here to help you. Husbands, hear your wives. Wives, hear your husbands. So together we can find the truth why your family is struggling and what it will take to get unstuck from cycles of misunderstanding and patterns of frustration. Join me live on YouTube on this Monday night at 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern as I conduct a live mediation. And if you would like to be heard, if you would like to hash out a misunderstanding with your spouse here on our live, sign up now to apply for your free opportunity to mediate. And I look forward to seeing you Monday night.
Shalom. Salama. Siyemi. Shalom. Greetings. Greetings, family. Whether you're Israelites or not, whether you're Gentiles, however you want to call yourself. This is Question Night Africa Fridays. This is our discussions. This is our lives. For our Quest to Unite Africa platform, it is a nonprofit organization, faith-based, biblical-based organization focusing on critical infrastructure, economic development on the continent. That's what we do. That's how we do. All day, every day. Hallelujah. I'm a little tired, family, because I was getting some stuff taken care of earlier this morning, answering emails, getting Zooms scheduled for some important meetings that will be held next week as part of Quest to Unite Africa. The work is very, very, it's interesting, and it's a good work. As we are cultivating relationships on the continent, as we're working with our brothers and sisters on the continent, we are taking advantage, honestly, of the time that we have left here to maximize what we need to have for this inevitable move, per se. I'm not sure if anybody has ever had to move or relocate for work. Your job tells you that, you're getting ready to have to take up a position, because if not, you will not be able to have funding, or you'll have to find another job. And then you have to understand the time frame. They give you a little bit of a time frame, and then 6 months later, 3 months later, a month, and then you get down to weeks, and you're trying to find the good old U-Haul or Penske truck that you then need to ensure that you have enough room to, have all your family's belongings in there. You take an inventory of what it is that you've collected in your house, apartment, or whatever you're living at, and you have to then plot out how you will get to wherever you need to get to. You need to be able to understand the lay of the land. You got to know what where you want to live, what schools will be uh, decent for your children, what area will be decent for your children. You do studies and things of that nature over the time frame of that 6 months. The spouse or the husband is nagging and trying to figure out what's going to happen because they have to make that trip with you, and that disrupts their lives, and they don't let you forget it. Their families, their friends, and you have to constantly reassure the family that, listen, this is for the best. This is where we need to be. And you have to say, look, this is where the Holy Spirit, or the Ruach HaKodesh, is leading us for this time, because this is now the door that's open while the other doors is closing. And these are the decision points that we consciously and unconsciously are being made aware of, because you're starting to understand that as you are in that process of making the move, you realize that things begin to shut down, doors begin to close, sentiments and feelings begin to change of where you are at and where you are getting ready to go, and folks begin to become uncomfortable. You know what? I think it's time for me to go. I can't wait to move. Yeah, I think this new position is going to be great. I'm looking forward to the opportunity because, yeah, I see how God, as most people would refer to him. I say, yeah, is getting ready to move us. And now you start to see in this contemporary moment, and in the present, in this day and age, what it is that we see, what it is that we're looking at, how we are interpreting the reality of the situation that we're living in. And I know, listen, these Q2A discussions, I know that they're not popular, and that's fine. It doesn't have to be popular. Oh, well, they're talking about Quest Unite Africa. Yeah, well, okay. But it's a great thing to understand the linkages of what our brothers and sisters on the continent, and how excited they are to understand who we are and who they get to work with. See, when I'm in these other organizations, meetings, and things of that nature, yeah, there's a bit of selfishness that's there. We get it. Folks want to make sure that they have their dimes up and going. We get it. But when I'm in there, I understand that the our brothers and sisters on the continent, they are trying to plan to make a space for us. How do we work with them? How do we interact with them? How do we move with them? And that's a hard thing because after over 400 years of slavery, we're trying to quote unquote move back home. And after 400 years, the home has gotten a little bit empty. Things are a little in shambles. The folks that had been there, that moved on in after we had left, they kind of left the place in disarray as their homes are now being messed up, as their places of where they originally reside from are now being altered in an unmanageable way. And that is causing their grips to be lost on something that they had a firm foundation on for over 400 years. It's a hard thing. All they can see is, well, the stock market is going up, but what's behind it? Well, this is happening. Well, what are you doing now? Well, these jobs are being posted, but nobody's hiring. All of the smoke and mirrors that they're providing, because there is a descent into chaos that's happening, but they don't want to tell you that it's happening. They just want to tell you that everything is fine. But they know it's not fine. They know what they're trying to do to try to prop up whatever they can prop up. Because why? Because the more that you believe in their dream up until the very end is the more that they can have in their hands before things are destroyed. When you know that a place is going bankrupt and then you still invest into a place that's going bankrupt, what happens to your money after that company declares that they're bankrupt? What happens to your money? When a place says that they're bankrupt after you done invested all of your hard-earned cash, your 401k, your retirement, your savings, everything else, what happened to those folks that had deposits in Silicon Valley Bank, One Republic? To those places that have failed, you realize that they only got pennies on the dollars for their lifetime savings. And then what do you say? What do you do? I need to speak out against the system. I need to warn folks. Well, your voice is not going to be heard because I can't let you alarm people in the scheme of what's tragically taking place and what is tragically taking place all throughout the United States at this current time. No, we have to say everything is looking good. Keep doing what you're doing. Don't worry about the bumps and the bruises. Everything's going to look good. Keep normal. But then folks can't make phone calls yesterday on various cellular platforms. And then it's a software glitch that affected multiple cellular networks. You have to understand that the narratives that will be fed to us as this place is under attack will not be sensical nor logical. It doesn't have to be. Lies do not have to be logical. All they have to do is just make you sit down and go color some more. So now when they're sneaking out the back door, you're getting up with your picture and your whole house is on fire. How come nobody warned me? How come nobody said anything? Yeah, if it was a huge solar flare, okay. I have beachfront property in Arizona to sell you. Flares don't work like that. Outages don't work like that if you're going to have a environmentally fueled EMP. Trust me, I know. That was one of my many jobs and functions in the military as an officer. Communications was vital, always was vital, always has been vital. But it's real good to see, how do the masses treat this? How asleep are these folks? How willfully ignorant are they? I just want to be lied to as long as my Netflix is going, my Disney Plus is going. I'm good. The moment that they hack my Netflix, there is a problem. Houston, there's a problem. Oh, don't worry about the Netflix. Don't worry about the Amazon Prime. That was just a flare. Oh, that's good. Oh, boy. Those solar flares, I tell you. But I want you to understand what that really means when you have communications outages and you have them for a prolonged period of time. To me, it looked as though that was just a capabilities test. And I'm not going to say who it was. I mean, it could have been our own government for all we know, just to ensure how would that response look like. Maybe they had folks ready, civil authorities, civil services ready to be deployed in certain areas that they conducted the test. Let's see if things get chaotic. Let's see if law and order needs to be imposed. Or will folks just kind of uh, go about life and, they'll just die on the vine and as long as they're comfortable. So what services need to be restored, making sure that the Popeyes is up and going, Uber Eats is moving. What communication channels need to be in place? And of course, we won't know, nor will we know, but it does give pause for concern in terms of what plan do you have when chaos ensues? It's not a question of if chaos is going to ensue. It's matter of fact, it's a question of when it does. What's your network? What's your plan? What is your capabilities? Who do you know? How do you need to move? How will you survive? How have you planned for the basics to make sure that you have enough food and water for at least 3 days, 2 weeks? How do you move in places? Are you going to move via tree lines and other off the road scenarios so then you do not run into a population that is now going to pillage and do everything else to survive? Where do you go to? Where do you evacuate to? Will you just sit there and hope that local authorities establish law and order? These are the questions that really have to be answered. I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to do that. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know. You're just going to sit down and die and just say, well, thank you, Father. I'll just see you in the sweet by and by. Hallelujah. That's a possibility too. There are some key things that took place over the weekend. Excuse me, over the week. You had a Russian victory, clear and decisive, that took place. That took place in Ukraine. You had a ship that was sunk, a UK ship with linkages to that Eastern Mediterranean nation. That took place. And you have and had and still have the ICJ hearings going on as we speak. Which is groundbreaking because this is now the first world government court that is about to impose restrictive measures through punitive actions. You're now seeing how things are playing out, family. in this world war that they don't like to tell you it's a world war. Sorry. Whether or not you want to be involved in it, whether or not you don't even think it's going on, it's going on. Someone asked in the chat earlier, I think it was Mr. G, it said, is that going to be the premise of the charge of the West for slavery and that being a crime against humanity? I would like to answer that and say anything is possible. Very interesting now that they're trying to look at historical grievances. Very interesting. And this is what we have. It's funny how policy is getting ready to shape a nation. They set this thing up, and now their monster is getting out of control. Oh, yeah. We said it on the Covenant Awakens channel. Ukraine is about to collapse. They're not playing anymore. The gloves came off. So when I see the comments, and I know you all are watching the news compilers and things of that nature, oh, they're going to cross the red line. Of course they are. Of course Ukraine's going to cross the red line. What do you think happens when you have a proxy war and you're losing the proxy war? Well, let me sneak in this nuclear weapon and let's have you launch it, and we'll just be having our hands behind our backs like, I don't know what happened. What do you think happens? We've been saying this, at least on the Covenant Awakenings channel. We've been saying this. Where do you think this was always going to culminate to? Well, I thought that there was going to be a peace process, and then we would be living in our heaven here forever. Wrong. A lot of people are very, very scared and nervous. Why do you think they're getting ready to take out cellular communications, network communications? Because when the deal goes down, guess what's going to happen? It's going to be a blackout. Understand the tactics, the techniques. And these procedures. This is the quote unquote TTPs. Something major goes on. Oh, we got hit by a cyber attack. Oh, we got hit by a solar flare. Oh, something happened here. Why are they doing that? Coincidentally, right after you have a major victory, because you want to know why it was so major? They never built up their fortifications. They know how simple it will be for them to cross the Dnieper and then to get into most of Europe. It's a downhill battle into Poland. It's a downhill battle into Romania. It's a downhill battle into Moldova, and guess what? You're going to have the hordes of the Central Asian people, the steppes, coming through. Make way for Kazakhstan. Make way for Kyrgyzstan. Make way for Tajikistan. Here's come Uzbekistan. There we go with Afghanistan, Turkmenistan. And Pakistan's going to be like, well, what about us? We have left at the action. We do not know which side to choose. Oh, boy. That's what they're afraid of. They utilized their folks, their little bit of fighters, and now they're going in for the sweep. Hey, cross the red line. Yeah, they're going to do it at their peril. Look, we knew this was coming. We could all see this coming. Go ahead. Let's see that mushroom cloud being lit up in Russian territory. I'm not even afraid of Putin. Putin's, to me, is the least of my concerns. The one they really, really should be afraid of, in my estimates, is Medvedev. Plain and simple. Nah, it ain't Putin. Nah, look, Medvedev is that pit bull. Let Medvedev come off his leash. He's going to be doing that Russian two-step with just raining down nukes. Greetings, Brother Mike. Welcome to Q2UA Discussions Live. Greetings.
Shalom. Shalom. How you doing, brother?
Doing very well.
Yeah. Yesterday it was something else. Today is a whole new day.
How did you survive the solar flare?
No suntan here. No suntan.
Well, it was a signal suntan. It was
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. Yeah, the internet was messing up and things. I mean, radio station was staticky and all that stuff. But I mean, and then I mean, I don't know if this happened everywhere else, but then in the middle of a song, the little emergency dun 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 dun. I thought it was a test, and then it went off. Right, it didn't even say it was a test.
It was not a test.
That's the thing. It did not say anything. And after it kept on saying dun 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 dun, and it just went off.
Mike,
nothing. That was it.
Were you trying to find where you could dig in at over there in the lower Ozarks? You were trying to find where you could just be at before that big old flash bulb in the sky just lit on up?
Man, let me tell you something. For a moment, I said, well, man, I mean, is it is something coming here or what? And so, I mean, I mean, I just went on about my day's activity, man. I mean, I was done working, helping my cousin with these apartments, and I was on my way back, back to the house and things, man, and making plans for the next day. But I think this here is just a small beginning of it. This is just a small beginning,
Mm.
and just I mean, once you start going through the news feed, everybody got it, and then they go talk about some solar flares. I'm like, okay, and this is what y'all want people to believe. The world been lying so much, and they think that the lie still works. And it seems like that the lies are backfiring on the people who call themselves just tell them this here. And they're so used to doing it to people like, we know you're lying. We know you're lying. And so I would say they're going to bring about something because it's going to be major. It's going to be major because the lie is not working no longer. It is not working any longer. And I'll say it, especially when you got other people that's putting out points and showing things of why this is this way and the reason why it doesn't go that way.
Yep.
I mean, you're talking about the one you fear. I was thinking about Kim Jong, North Korea. That cat been kind of quiet lately.
Has he been quiet, or is it that the Western news sources don't want to say what he's been doing?
That's true too.
That's
an excellent point. That's an excellent point. That's an excellent point. So I mean, it seemed like either way they go, they hemmed up. If we keep this away from the public, if they believe that this cat is sitting off in the cut and we don't know what's going on, and we don't tell the world, I mean, it's like we hemmed up in both directions. I mean, they are hemmed up in both directions, rather.
Mm-hmm. Which gives a good point, because right now, what we're doing, we're knocking out some Brother Mike's travel plans, getting that together. We have a couple of different major meetings coming up next week, which I'm excited about. Did you see your email? I hope you checked your email earlier this morning. so I was up around 6. So there's a lot of exciting things that we're doing, but we really can't disclose that just yet because we're finalizing these different things. And when you're dealing with some high level dignitaries, there are, different challenges that come about. It's just because they're very busy. But it's awesome that we are where we're at in this time, because let me tell you this, the rest of the world knows what's going on. The rest of the world sees what's going on. But are you really going to say anything to a bully? I mean, think about this. You want to see that bully get his behind kicked. Are you going to say anything to that bully? No, you're not. Man, you know that they're going to get the behind whoop, right? Yeah, I know. Should we say something? Nah, stay out of it. Right? Because if you open your mouth, guess what? Then that bully's going to go on you and they'll turn their attention to you. They will
Yeah.
turn their attention on you. So guess what? Nah, stay out of it. That's what the world is saying. Man, we see this butt whooping coming. We see that this person's about to get jumped. I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to be in their vicinity because when they get jumped, I could get hurt too. I'm not with them, but I was just trying to listen, you open your mouth, then what are you going to do? Nah, you're associated with that bully. You're going to get it too.
Yeah.
That's all that's happening. You think anybody's going to open their mouth? They're like, nah, we just going to wait for this fallout.
Hmm.
We just going to wait for this fallout and that's it.
Wow.
Because did anybody think that at the beginning of this year we would be right here? And we're not even out of February yet. We're not even 90 days yet.
Man, but this month went by so quick. I'm still stuck in November.
This is amazing to see how our Heavenly Father is moving. This is amazing to see how the Most High is moving.
Yeah.
But we have to continue the work, honestly, literally while it's daylight. We have to continue that work because here's the thing. We know and we see. You see how quickly? Y'all see how quickly things can change? We take a lot of these things for granted. I take the internet for granted. I do. I take my cell phone for granted. I do.
You don't realize how connected we are to that stuff. And man, bro, truthfully, it ain't been a whole lot of years for us to be that connected to it. It has not. What the brick phone? That was back in the mid 90s.
Yeah, the brick phone, then it was the Motorola flip phone.
Yeah, and then came that Motorola flip phone. I mean, bruh, it ain't like the home telephone. If you talking about a home telephone, you're talking about going back into what year? 1950s when they introduced the home telephone in people's homes. And we held on to that. We held on to the home telephone until the late, it was in the 90s. I would say they started to really, truly, drastically decrease in the 2000s. Home telephone, because everybody had a cell phone. First before the telephone, it was the beeper. Everybody had a beeper.
I was thinking about that too. The two-way pager.
Yep, two-way page. Yep, yeah.
What's the phone that you have to have
Yep.
a couple. You have to have at least 4 quarters in your pocket, right? At least
at all times. At all times.
Quarter, yeah, I got a quarter. Just in case this beeper goes off.
Yep. But if you look at that and you take that the cell phones and how we really truly just grabbed that cell phone, and that cell phone has all of your information in it. All of your information is in that one particular computer. And that's how you stay in contact with your family members when there's an emergency. All right. If your child can't talk, what? You just hit that, you hit the little GPS and find out where your child is at. Boom, you go right there. And it's showing us that we put ourselves in a very dangerous position. If you ask me, Karis, right now, what's my mother's phone number? I cannot tell you by heart. Now, if you would have asked me that back in the 90s, I could tell you about it. I could tell you what my mother, my brother, some of everybody's phone numbers. But this is how they dumbed us down. They made a luxury into a dumbing instrument. And we, unfortunately, we got caught up in it,
Yes, we
and
did.
now, here they are talking about some solar flares. Man, you could have, if you would have said you passed gas too loudly, I would have believed that more than a solar flare. It's just that simple. I mean, come on now.
The cows had all farted
Yeah.
at the same time, and that methane had knocked out cellular communications at certain places.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Yeah. I mean, man, but this is where we're at, and Karis, I was just talking to this brother, and I just seen him a couple of days ago, man. I didn't even know who he was. Until he kept talking. I said, man, I know this guy from somewhere. And I said, Cody, he like, yeah. And he looked at me, he said, Mike, man, we were standing there for 20 minutes because my cousin was there. He was talking to my cousin. And that's when he recognized me. But this cat go tell me, man, Mike, I got a $1.5 million home I'm trying to sell. That's the house he live in. I'm like, well, brother, you do know, your money's about to look funny. He like, brother, that's what I'm looking at. He said, because this stuff that's going on, I don't think this house I'm going to get all the money out of it that I want to get out of it. Truthfully, he's supposed to be on he's supposed to register for the seminar for the 31st.
Yes.
Because now he's looking at that, and I've been talking to some brothers since I've been here, and I'm talking about preachers. These guys here, we don't believe that Israel is done away with, and these are the things they talking about. They say they got a whole lot of preachers that are retiring and things of that nature.
Now they want to say something. Isn't that funny? Now now that the money's looking funny. Well, you want to know what I think? Them folks over there that's been saying this truth. Oh my goodness! You knew it was coming.
And he's the guy I went to school with. He's a preacher. He's starting to see the scriptures a lot different now. A whole lot different. And he's seeing that the situation with the money. He said, no, something is not right. But when I talked to him, he said, man, Mike, give me your number. He said, what? Send me the information. I'm going to register. He said, he's very concerned. He's very concerned because it's not making no sense.
It's not.
It's not making no sense.
Listen. Mike and I, we're in the background, and we see what a lot of folks they ask questions. I thank you all for those that have signed up to volunteer. And to be honest, it's been a very busy couple weeks. We're trying our best to streamline the volunteer applications to get our directors to reach on out to our people, but it's been a very, very busy week. A lot of people are very, very unsettled.
Oh, yes.
Rightfully so. What can you do? What can you say? I don't know. I think things are going to get better. They see it's not getting better. How many lies can people listen to before they realize that the house is on fire? Once your bed gets on fire and you're still laying down in your bed, you're already dead. You've already inhaled all the carbon monoxide. You are not getting up. You already done passed away. All that's left is your carcass burning.
That's it. And these people, they're starting to see that. They're starting to see that. Hmm, I would say quickly, but they starting to see it a whole lot deeply. Now it's
It's
concerning.
not going to
It's
be,
very
yeah, it's
concerning.
exactly. It's concerning, but it's not going to be quick.
Hmm.
Because why? Because they believe lies. Look, they believe a stock market that that the economy is one way, but the stock market's the other. It makes no sense.
Who was that? Truth Unedited. I think he brought that out. He said, "This is a lie."
Hmm.
He said, "This is a lie. You're not going to have a bad economy, and but the stock market is still going up. Somebody is manipulating the system only for a short period of time." Because they're saying it cannot continue to go that way because it's a lie. A lie just cannot stand.
Mm-mm.
Man, I tell you. Mm.
Yeah, they gotta bring out all their tricks, what's going on with NASA and all that other stuff. Hey, to me, who cares?
Hmm.
Whether you're a flat earth person, whether you're, the what is it, the heliocentric model, I don't know. Who cares? What I do know is these grocery stores shelves are getting emptier and emptier.
By the day. By the day.
People are starting to notice that produce is getting moldy and rotted. That's crazy. Produce.
Mm. But the ones who have the information, what was that? Leave the World Behind. And he was talking about the ones who had that type of information. They knew what they needed to do. That had that information when the black guy was saying, "Hey," he said, he called him and told him, "I need you to move a very large amount of money." And these are the people that know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, truthfully, I think they already gone. They know what's about to go down. I mean, you got all these people here with like the borders are open up. Open up all the doors on all four corners of this country. Open them up. And they open them up.
Mm.
And so now here they are. They just waiting for that one particular time or day where, all right, let it happen. That's all I'm seeing. It's just let it happen. We fooled the people long enough. There's no more fooling. Now we need to go ahead and Operation 666 or whatever they want to call it. And so that's the way I'm seeing this stuff. And they don't care. They're not caring about nobody. It's like, what do they call it? They would literally consider you collateral damage.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
And that's how I'm seeing this. I mean, if you want to talk about a demonic system, this is the start of a very dark demonic system. This is the start of it.
Well, Mike, we got to keep it a little bit light because this is this is the Questy Night Africa. Okay. Yes.
I mean, today is what?
Today's
Today
Friday.
Friday?
Yes.
Oh, good night, man. I tell you the truth.
Yeah.
Whew.
So yes, no. Is this system in folly? Yes, it's in folly. Is it in turmoil? Yes, it's in turmoil. And you have to understand when you are in a system that's in folly and turmoil, guess what? Everybody goes. It don't matter who you are. It doesn't matter who you are. Because why? You're gonna start to see the crab in the barrel effect as people are trying to cram
Ooh,
and boo boo
yeah.
people Because why? Because now things are not what they used to be, right? That bill of goods that was sold to them is not adding up. We already
That
knew that
craps in the barrel.
we already
Mm.
knew that the system was collapsing and collapsing on itself. We called that 6, 7 months ago. Now we're starting to see the system collapsing in a more turbulent manner. This is
Mm.
what we look, we understand how this organization was put together and what this organization needed to do, especially for this time. That was no secret. And it's great to see how our Heavenly Father put this organization together and how he's moving and opening up doors in more places than we can even imagine. Tonight, we're going to be on Sister Shonda's channel talking about Quest Unite Africa, the mission of what we're doing because of where and the positions that Sister Shonda's moving into.
Mm.
This community is moving way beyond what we could have even thought or imagined. And we're not just talking on a regional scale, we're talking on a globally. See, no matter what they tried to do to discount and discredit us, it's not for them to do anything. The Most High is already moving us to where he needs us to be. This is why we always have to say, look, don't worry about anyone else. Focus on ourselves. Because
Yeah.
it's him. It's him that gets the glory. It's him that moves us to where we need to move to. And it's been awesome to see that each and every day, each and every hour. Literally, I go to bed and I'm waking up at 5:30 sending reading things, sending emails, trying to make sure that we're positioning ourselves for what he has for us. A lot of these people that we're talking to, I never would have thought last year. If you would have asked me last year, I'd be doing this. This year, I would have said, no, 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 I don't think so. I'm comfortable in my little job right here. I'm comfortable with my, with getting things. Yeah, has it been tough? Absolutely. Have I paid a personal price? Absolutely.
Mm.
But I have to give him praise and him glory. His name is Yahuwah. Because of what it is that I have been able to witness from him. This week, shout out to our Q2UA PR and marketing team. If you haven't checked out our channel, we have our videos going on. Our Q2UA, our Quest Unite Africa news. And some of the things, because I kind of got a little off topic here.
Mm.
And let me kind of tell you, look, when I tell you that the world is kind of Nigeria's Yakuban Gowon, the last living founding father of ECOWAS, calls for its rescue. Why is that? Let's get into this article here from Africa News. Former Nigerian head of state Yakubu Gowon, who was one of the founders of the Economic Community of West African States, has called for the lifting of sanctions on coup-hit countries ahead of an emergency heads of state meeting in the region. So Gowon on Wednesday in Abu, Nigeria's capital, warned ECOWAS was threatened with disunity. Neither my generation nor current or future generations will forgive the breakup of our community, the 89-year-old said in an open letter. And let me share that with you all. You can see that here in the chat. I have that shared in the chat. You know, I'll say my little reaction. And Mike, I'll ask for your take. But you know, when this stuff was all formed, I'm gonna say before our awakening,
Mm-hmm.
it was formed as mainly a control system of the West. Make no mistake about it. That's what ECOWAS was formed as. And now you see nations breaking away because why? Because the control system of the West is no longer as powerful as it once had been. Now you have these countries now getting ready to do nuclear energy. Remember, 10, 15 years ago, nuclear energy on the continent? Oh no.
Nope. Too
No.
much power.
Yep. Now these folks are saying, "Yep, we're building it right now." They're literally building nuclear reactors right now. So now these other nations are saying, "Uh-oh, well, we can't really sanction them because now these nations see, or people see that we're sanctioning a good thing, and they are in trouble." This is now for them. This is now coup territory. This is why they have to do what they're trying to do because they know they're the next ones to be dethroned.
Whew.
What say you, Mike?
The same. The same. It's happening. They start. I mean, about 3 or 4 months ago, they were saying that the United States was. It was. I mean, the West was losing its throne as a world power. They started to see that like 3 or 4 months ago. They said no, they're losing that power, and now here they talking about nuclear power on the continent, and they know. I mean, and McCares, you know, the West and the rest of the world knew in order for us to be profitable, Africa had to stay poor, and they did that. They accomplished that. Now Africa said it is enough. Matter of fact, we're going to build factories. We're gonna mine our own gold. We're gonna process our own gold. Now the wheels are turning, and they're turning too fast for the West.
It is
Too fast for the West. Now you're seeing the continent literally not just waking up, but standing up. Standing up and ready to say, we will do this ourselves. And whatever you need, you go pay the premium. Matter of fact, we need our artifacts that you all stole from Africa that you all got in you all's museum.
Well,
that's what's happening.
And that's why earlier, Eric Prince, he was the one of the folks. It's not Blackwater. I think it was actually Blackwater, and then they turned it to like some auspicious name, but they were basically a mercenary group. You under the Trump administration that helped with other, um, things that the U.S. won't claim, right? That's just kind of how that goes.
Mm.
And there was an interview that he said that, that the continent needed to come back under, for the most part, European control.
Wait a minute. You talking about the guy that said been talking about? I was watching the interview, and this guy was saying that they need to go back in and recolonize Africa because then the people they can't govern themselves. I think it was
That's
like 2 weeks
one.
ago. I was looking. All righty, ain't that about a trip?
That's the one. And when you understand, they're not saying that because they truly are trying to altruistically help the continent to, get to a modernization plan and help to ensure that they can, manage their own resources. That's not the case. What they're trying to say is the West, is in trouble. They are in trouble. Because why? Because the resources are cut off. There's only so much uranium that can be mined in the United States. The United States ain't got the uranium like that.
They claiming they found some in Canada.
Yeah, supposedly.
Yeah, supposedly, yes.
Supposedly. Is it as vast as what they have on the continent? Absolutely not.
No.
They're losing access to the continent. They're losing access. And we're gaining access. And they see that we're gaining access. And they're getting mad because the typical tricks of, well, let's activate our Boule class to get us that access is not working anymore. We're looking at them like Russell Westbrook. We're giving them that meme face. Like, what? Nah. You ain't taking nothing. Well, don't you want to help us survive? I don't know. Don't you want to help me get reparations? Yeah, that's why they're closed out. And they know that they're closed out because of that. Isn't it amazing that now they want our help after all this stuff is going down, and now they know that they can't even utilize our help. So they have to say, well, we got to now shut you down. We got to now, try to come through and help to renegotiate how you're managing stuff. Managing what? Our own things? Now they're afraid. They are sorely afraid. Senegal's president backtracks on elections delay after top court rejects attempt by Ziofe Shu, Nimi Princewill, and Larry Madawo. Senegal's outgoing president Macky Sall said he would hold presidential elections as soon as possible one day after West African country's constitutional council ruled against its decision to postpone elections. The president of the republic has taken note of this decision, which lies within the framework of the normal jurisdiction mechanism of a democracy and the rule of law by the Senegalese constitution. They said that because, to me, it looked as though everything was getting really hot in Senegal. Senegal is on the teetering part of really bumping up against, ECOWAS and now EAS, which is basically the Niger, Burkina Faso, and Mali. And when you start to have a regional conglomerate that's actually getting ready to manage its own power resources, its mineral resources, That's been a problem. I'm telling you, this is what's going on. You're telling me that after 40, 50 years, you cannot have a nuclear reactor for your own energy and that your resources are going out of your hands at literally a fraction, a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of what is paid globally? You're telling me that we have been basically raked over the coals? No, we're
Hmm.
not going to have this in power. That's what they're afraid of. Okay, I got to suspend the Constitution because if not, then things are going to happen, and we need to kind of make sure that we speak it, we say things that sound good, and do that.
Hmm. Isn't that the place where what's his name? What's the rapper name? Um,
No, that's not Akon. Akon's not out of Senegal.
oh, it's not Senegal. All right, all right, all right.
Yeah, I thought it was like Ghana or something. Because Senegal's it's French speaking. They're francophone. They're French. They're French speaking.
Yeah, yeah. I had those two brothers working for me when they was, and both of them they told me they was from Senegal.
Hmm.
Yeah, man.
So
But
now, yeah, go ahead,
I'm
man.
sorry. Go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
No, I'm just looking at the brothers over there. They just like it's just like here. It's just like we had enough. Enough is enough. It's like no, we're not trying to. We're not gonna argue about reparations. We can't make you do nothing, but we know the end results, though. That's the thing. We know the end results. I mean, common sense should be kicking in, but it's not so common no more. You would
Mm-mm.
think that, hey, you know what? We used to, how we used to go there and say, hey, we're here to help. And back in the days, people believed that. Now, they can't say that no more. Are we here to help? Oh, no, 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 no. Um, your help usually turns into a disaster, and you always got some underhanded um, things going on where you are profit, and
Mm.
but me and my people we suffer. That's what's going on right now. They're not even trying to entertain talks. What was that? When the people came into the AU unannounced, unannounced. Those brothers they stopped that meeting. They said,
Yep.
"No, you are not welcome to this meeting," and walked them out.
You walked them out. That to me was like the very first step in the right direction. I mean, to be quite honest,
Hey, it's kind of funny you said that.
you know what I'm
Hey, yeah, how
saying?
they
I was
walked them
like,
out.
yeah, it's like, wow, that was like a breath of fresh air. Like, oh, hallelujah, our people are waking up. Our
Yeah,
people are starting to like understand this. They're starting to see this,
and that was televised.
and that was televised. Exactly.
That was a very important time to see those brothers stop talking and say, "Wait a minute, you are not invited," and walked them right on out.
Mm.
Walked them right on out. And you seeing these brothers, and I'm still trying to get find out what happened with these three Nigerians who was flying to the Super Bowl and had that helicopter accident or whatever.
And
You
and
know,
now and now they're saying that the Nigerian naira is now collapsing. They're
oh,
saying
now it's collapsing
now
now.
it's collapsing. Yeah.
Now it's collapsing.
Now
Tell
it's
you,
collapsing. Yeah.
you,
Go ahead.
you know what? It's Karis, one day we go get a report that the whole continent go start kicking NGOs out.
Hmm.
I would not be surprised.
Yeah. Now, because now think about this. Think about this. Nigeria did want to join BRICS, and they got Their application rejected.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold on now.
We just saw.
I,
Yeah, we just went over that last week. Yeah, they got the application rejected by BRICS. They said, "Nah, you
yeah. All right.
y'all be cooning and buffooning too much with them folks. No, 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 no."
Mm,
they they're man, they were the only African nation that got rejected because the black card was looking funny.
mm. Man, I mean, if you
Yeah.
really look at it now, out of the whole continent of Africa, Nigerians, like, they have a front and back door to the United States. Those are the only people I know that can come here and go back and forth to the United States are the Nigerians. Out of all of the Africans, Nigeria, it's like, it's, and yeah, I can understand it now. When you said that, they got denied, when you start looking at it, how Nigerians come in and go out, come here and be doctors and everything. Now, I can see that. I can see the reason why they would deny them. Their hands are into the United States too much. And now, when you said that the naira is dropping, who's dropping the value of that dollar, Karis?
The naira is dropping because honestly, they're trying to look. These Western nations here, especially the United States, if your dollar is dying, you're gonna have to start calling up every resource that you have, which is the continent. Why? Because they have to start backfilling the wealth of the dollar. Man, let me get what I need to get. Let me get out of this market. Let me get my money on out. And now they're going to suffer. See, it was all cool and dandy when, it was profitable to be sellouts. I mean, just call a spade a spade.
You ain't joking.
It was profitable to, not have to worry about the consequences of being a step over. It is good as long as I make my dollar. No, now the dollar's collapsing, and now they're trying to go to BRICS. They know what time it is. No, we can't trust you. What do you mean you can't trust me? That. There's no big deal. This. Don't worry about it. Look at you know what I'm saying? Look, they couldn't even trust their black card, and they're on the continent. That's a shame.
Yeah. No, they're being very selective with that BRICS. I mean, if they see any hint, any residue of the West, they're not even trying to move with it. And it is what it is in things. But right now, the way they're coming up in a powerful way against that dollar. I mean, they're coming up in a very powerful way. Now, and they buying up gold.
Yeah.
They're buying up gold. But this thing here, this bogarting of the contract that the Russians have with I was about to say Judah, with Uganda, with that mining of that $12 trillion worth of gold. Man, now you dangling red meat over a pit bull.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. Man, that's gonna be a vicious.
It's gonna be a fight. Yeah, it's gonna be a fight. You realize that that's literally the survival of the West right there, hanging in the balance. How much can they steal?
Man, that's something else,
crazy.
man.
It's crazy.
That is absolute craziness. Man.
These are
That
the
is something else, bro.
conversations that Mike and we have in the background, and we just bring it out to you all here. Because
Mm.
you have to understand all of these folks that have come to us that have asked, hey, this, hey, that, and we're trying to have mechanisms to be able to legally help them, to properly help them, to plan for what they're needing to have. Look, like I said, when Mike gets there on the ground, Mike is running. We probably won't hear from Mike for at least another 4 or 5 weeks.
Yeah, it's a whole lot of catch up I got to do. A whole lot of it. I mean, one brother, he said, man, the 3 villages, 3, they just waiting on us to get there to do what we need to do, and then we get to moving.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's off the top.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's not no, you know, it never was a vacation, but this is to put things in, you know, in its place. I mean, we're seeing what's happening on a global scale, and I'm not gonna sit up here and play dumb that I don't see what's happening here. You know, and it doesn't look, to me, it doesn't look feasible for me to build some type of economic treasure here. It's just not feasible. It don't look promising, put it that way. But on the continent, it seems like the whole world has turned its attention to Africa. It turned its attention to Africa. They starting to see, hey, there's a livelihood and there's life on this particular continent, and the world knows it. And but the world don't want to humble itself, though. The world do not want to humble itself to this particular country, but it's going to. But eventually, it will. It will have to humble itself and stop still.
Not a country. It's a continent. It's a land.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
It's a people. It's a people. They know it. This is why, listen, family, with these ICJ meetings that's going on, I have the article, but you know, you all will be able to look at that. I'll just share it in the chat. I'm not going to open it, but you could see it. Look, you know the setup. You see the setup happening. And we didn't do any of this. We were just telling you, look, this is what's going on. Because why? This is what the word says. All we're doing is just preparing ourselves for when that fallout happens. And that fallout will happen. I don't care how many people want to hide themselves and say, no, it's never going to do this. Remember all the things that was never going to happen and you see them happening?
Mm-hmm.
It's never going to go on, and then you see it's going on. That's never going to do that, and then you see it's do that. You see all these folks that were the naysayers. Where are they at now? This place will never be invaded. Now they're telling you they're about to get invaded by having to play their emergency messaging messages.
Yeah. And that is exactly what they're doing. They've been playing Superman and Batman for so long, till they starting to realize, hey, these just characters. They're not real. It's just a figment of our imagination. Bruce Wayne, $1 billion merchant. Superman. What? They took his name out of, not his name, but they took L out of the Bible and called him Superman. And they come to see, hey, we can't move like that. We put trust in this dollar, and this West ruled the world. It governed the world. Now the world is looking at this world. This world is looking at this country as a bully, and and if you don't fall in line, hey, things happen. But now those things are not happening now because they don't have that power.
The hammer of the whole world. That's what the word says.
Yes,
The hammer of the whole world.
that's it.
So, as this hammer continues to lose cellular communications, and it continues to lose jobs and not being able to have, the parts needed to even fix things, this is the opportunity, family, for Quest to Unite Africa. It's an economic opportunity, family. This is what we're doing. Listen, we're partnering with the Tanzanian Investment Center. They have lists of companies that are there that you can check out, that you can see, where you will be able to grow your money. This is an opportunity. All we can do here is just sit here and see destruction happen. That's it. Just don't sit and see. Do. Plan. Work things on out. Talk to your family. Get the information. Get the resources. That will be Sunday, March 31st at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it's not just in Tanzania. We're talking about East Africa, Rwanda. And there's other places on the continent, family. Let me tell you, we have folks, we can't disclose that just yet. But these are nations. Because this time is critical. This situation's critical. But just because it's critical doesn't mean that we need to just sit on our hands and not do anything about it. Brother Mike, what say you before we wrap this on up?
I hope that the brothers and investors, period, start to look at the realism of what's going on. And let's just say, hypothetically speaking, if you think that there's going to be a turnaround, so be it. But my thing is this: it's always been said, don't leave all of your eggs in one basket. That's been said for years.
Mm-hmm.
For years. And now we're at that time. Where ask yourself, where are all the billionaires and millionaires? You don't see them speaking as much like you used to. All you see is politicians now. What's that? It was one billionaire. I haven't heard from him in a moment, but they already know this don't look good. It does not look good. And you're playing with the markets, making like everything is going on the up and up, just to keep. You're
talking about the Berkshire Hathaway guy. I forgot his name. Somebody comments in the chat. You all know what I'm talking. You all know what we're talking about. Buffett, Warren Buffett. There it is.
Yeah, Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett. So they don't have they can't afford to be the pigeons no more. They're like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna go dark. And when they go dark, they're letting you know they're gone. They're gone. They investing their money somewhere else. And if I can just get all the information, I can almost guarantee you the majority of their investments is coming out of Africa.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming out of Africa. They know it. If you want anything to grow, you need to plant your seed in Africa off the top. And I just hope that, we'll really take that into consideration, because you can have a few 100,000 in the bank, you can have $1 million in the bank. But one day, something is going to happen, and the world is letting you know that $1 million you got is going to be just what it is. It's just going to be paper that you can burn. Was it Ezekiel, in the book of Ezekiel, is saying that at that time money will be just thrown into the streets. I mean, this is what we have to really pay attention to, because when it's all over said and done, the world is letting you know there's a lot of countries that is kind of they are upset at the doings of the bullies, and they're fighting back. And they're not the people that you should be playing off as insignificant or just downright. They don't have no type of technological background. They do. We can't sit up here and play that role no more. Now this is very hard line thinking. I know we've been spoiled to a lot of things here, and the things that we think we have, cell phones, all that. We just seen that yesterday, and we're going to see a whole lot more. Now you got sheriffs going on YouTube and posting their meeting with the government, and what the government told them what they should be planning for. This is what they're doing. Now, I've seen three different videos of 3 different sheriffs in 3 different states, and all of them are saying the same thing. But all of them would say this though. They said that Biden was not in that in neither one of the meetings. Why are you having all these sheriffs posting this stuff and letting them know and let the police know? One sister, she just had in the chat, she said her husband is a policeman, and said they gave him some information that scared him, that has him very concerned. And it's not, I'm not trying to scare nobody, but I'd rather put you on alert than have you out here dumbfounded. That's it. I mean, this is where we're at. And Question Unite Africa, we gonna continue to move. Whether everything go belly up, we gonna continue to move. Because we doing things not of our own initiative. It's not. That's what we don't move on our flesh. And that's how we move it. And I hand it back to you, Brother Karras.
Beautifully stated, Brother Mike, because, listen, we only have a little while. We can only do the work while we are able to.
Yeah.
And it's up to you, to those that are listening. We ask that you continue to support the mission here at Quest Unite Africa. It's something that is of value to this generation and the generations to come. Thank you for your help, for those that have supported and those that continue to support. And now we can see how we are able to move forward, because we're going to continue moving forward. It's whether or not you want to stay on this train. The Most High moves us forward. He absolutely does. And when you see him moving, it's an absolute, it's absolutely an amazing thing to say. So with that said, family, Most High willing, we'll be back on next week. And you know this world is going to go through some crazy things in a matter of a week. So continue to pray for us.
Yeah.
Continue to pray for Quest Unite Africa. And with that said, family, shalom, salama, siyemi, shalom, peace and blessings. Peace and blessings. Whether you are Yasharel or the nations, under the blood of Yahushua HaMashiach.
Are you tired of fighting with your wife or with your husband? Have you each retreated into your separate corners, not even trying to speak to each other anymore? Are your children witnessing a toxic marriage rather than a purposeful partnership? Hi, I am Shar, and I am an attorney mediator and experienced in helping families for the past 13 years navigate really challenging times. And I am here to help you. Husbands, hear your wives. Wives, hear your husbands. So together we can find the truth why your family is struggling and what it will take to get unstuck from cycles of misunderstanding and patterns of frustration. Join me live on YouTube on this Monday night at 6:00 p.m. Eastern as I conduct a live mediation. And if you would like to be heard, if you would like to hash out a misunderstanding with your spouse here on our live, sign up now to apply for your free opportunity to mediate. And I look forward to seeing you Monday night. Container packed with supplies that need to make their way to families in Africa like yesterday. You said this is a 53-foot trailer? This trailer is packed with medical supplies destined to the motherland. We need to help get these out of here.
Tuna wageni watatu, Mheshimiwa Sebastian Kapufi mbunge, ambao ni wadau wa maendeleo kutoka Marekani. Wadau wa maendeleo kutoka Marekani, karibuni sana.